Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me in Creativity in Business, which is your most important career skill in the age of AI. I'm Jenny Teeters, foundress and CEO of Teeters Group LLC. I have an extensive background in leadership, program management, training and development, operations, many different roles in my 30-year career in technology. I've also achieved several coaching certifications, including one for Gen AI prompting, which has changed my life. I'm a published author, a speaker, and business consultant. I enjoy score.org as a mentor, helping new businesses get going and grow. I've also been featured in CNN, on television, podcasts, and radio. So I'm very delighted to take you through something that I discovered and really love about business, which is how creative it is, as well as how creative we are. So, why are we here today? Well, we are all living in this moment of AI. There is a lot of fear around AI. Will it take my job? Am I managing it correctly? What is the tech stack? Am I going to fall behind? How do I help my team maximize the usage of it while staying secure? So much going on with AI. AI can do a lot. It can do a lot for us and also give us time back that we may have done things very tactically. AI can help with that. And then we can do things more strategically. However, AI cannot replace us. AI cannot be you. It doesn't think, it can't feel what a customer needs. It does not have intuition. It does not have a way of taking all the lessons you've learned and the stories in your life that make you unique. It can't do that. So, this is your moment to actually leverage the human skills you need in a era of AI. So, that's where we are going to focus here on your moment. So, creativity is not a talent, it is a skill anyone can learn. We are innately creative. So, Dr. Michael Ray and Rochelle Myers, they um, published this wonderful book called Creativity in Business. This book was based on a very famed Stanford University course, Revolutionizing the Art of Success. I am certified actually to give that course to individuals on their journey called Clarity Catalyst, as well as to organizations in a program called Culture Catalyst, where an entire team goes through it together. But the reason that it's so important, it was taught for decades to MBA students, to executives, and to entrepreneurs. But it wasn't about creativity in the classic sense of painting, creative writing, or sculpting. It is really how we are diving into our creativity, how it unveils itself, especially through problem solving. So the creative process is very much like solving a problem. And it's also very much like the hero's journey. So during this presentation, just think about yourself as a hero going through the hero's journey. And you are going to go into some new territory, which is the world of AI and exploring your own creativity. And how do you go into this unknown to do what you need to do? So creativity is learnable, absolutely learnable. It's learnable through practice, but really we all have an innate sense of this. So mindfulness, our intuition, our vision, our desires, those are the things that are some of the foundations of tonight's webinar. So AI cannot replace the humanness, which makes us creative, which as prompting engineers, when we are creating workflows, when we are creating skills, when we are creating agents, when we're creating prompts for AI to work for us, we need to bring all that we have. A friend of mine who has amazing offers on AI, she always suggests that we make sure we bring our brains to work when we are working with AI. It is the truth. So here are the principles for the creative professional, which is you as the hero here. And these, of course, come from the book Creativity in Business, but today we are applying them to the AI era. So number one is creative problem solving. So when we have a problem, we consider and think of different solutions. We think of how this has been done in the past. What we're going to go into a little bit more detail today is challenging the problem, not just the solution. Number two, mindfulness and presence. So we need to still our minds for ideas to surface. We always hear about, oh, I was on a walk and had this great idea. I was in the shower and had this great idea. I woke up in the middle of the night and had this great idea. And what those three things have in common is that our brains were in a state of rest while those ideas were surfacing. So mindfulness and presence are critical. And one of the principles we'll talk about. Number three, intuition as intelligence. So we already know many things about our decisions. Like if we were to make, be wondering about a decision and flip a coin, and heads was, one answer and B was another answer, or heads or tails. And somebody tells us, okay, heads, is this what it is? And we say no, we already know then what the other answer is. So that is a great practice whenever we're really thinking about two different scenarios. Flip a coin. If you don't get your preferred answer already, it's because you already know. So we're going to tap into that intuition and intelligence today. And number four, breakthrough thinking. So seeing what others miss and questioning assumptions everyone else has accepted. We all know this person in our meetings who is um, questioning, have we thought about this? Or they say things like, I don't mean to be a stinker here. I don't mean to be a naysayer. But there is, something about really looking at what other people might be missing or where everyone else might be kind of going along. So we'll talk about breakthrough thinking as one of the five principles. And last but not least, who are you? Who are we when we are leading from clarity about who we are and what we are here to do on this planet? It makes being creative much more simple and in tune because we have a little bit of a compass. So we're going to go through all five as we reimagine our work with AI. So first things first, let's get into creative problem solving. So the problem with problem solving, most people solve the problem they're handed without asking if it's the right one. Is this a problem we're solving? So I have been a leader many times. And so if there's a conflict, sometimes the solution is we need to get rid of a person. Well, is it a person that's the problem, or I've been in enablement for a long time, training and development. What we need is more training, more enablement. Well, is more training really going to solve the problem? Like, what is the root cause of the problem? So this Dr. Michael Ray and Myers call this problem finding. So we're just being very creative and opening our minds to not just solving the problem that we've been handed, but asking if it's the right one. So in the age of AI, anyone can prompt AI to generate a solution. What I want you to remember is the professional who reframes the challenge, who asks a better question and thinks a few moves ahead creates a real competitive advantage. So, one thing about your AI prompting is actually to give AI a role. If you were to ask AI a question, it will give you a general question, it gives you a general answer. If you ask AI, let's say, a question about neuroscience, and you say, AI or ChatGPT, Claude, whatever it is you might be using, imagine you are a neuroscientist, the best thought leader in the world. And then you pose the question in your AI prompt. Well, it's going to think of that answer and consider it differently. It's going to think about expertise, thought leadership. It's going to search the web for big ideas. And so during our prompting, we want to make sure we give a role to AI. That's really important. And then practicing the five whys. So, as a coach, this comes in very handy with getting to the root of why someone wants to make a change in their lives. So, before solving, ask why 5 times. Each of these layers is going to peel away a symptom to reveal that root cause and opportunities that no one else is looking at. So, let's take a look at, for example, somebody who is very frustrated in their career. This happens very often with me. They come to me, they want some career coaching. Okay, why would you like to change jobs? Because of Nancy, because of my boss, because I want a hybrid workplace. Okay, well, why do you want those things? What is that change going to do for you? Well, if I wasn't around Nancy, then I would be more calm and peaceful. Why is it that calm and peacefulness is important to you? Well, I feel like I'm under a lot of stress all the time. So as you can see, we peel the layers, but it gets down, into the motivations a little bit when we're setting goals and trying to make a change. But same thing with problem solving. Ask the why. Why is that important? What is that going to solve? And we want to kind of dig deeper and dig deeper and dig deeper. And AI is amazing that we can ask that kind of a prompt and actually have it help us with this. Step number 2 here, mindfulness and presence. So, full attention is a professional superpower. If you are not a good listener or communicator, it is definitely something to invest in. And when I say good listener, like, are you able, when somebody else is talking, to prevent yourself from thinking about what you're going to say next by battling already and playing chess with somebody else's arguments, by interrupting? So, really, the whole purpose of listening is that we can completely understand where the other person is coming from. And we can ask those questions until we are certain that we fully understand where they're coming from. So that's what I mean by a good listener. Is our intention in a communication with another person is to really understand what they mean, and to clarify. So when we are not doing that, that's where then we're not really utilizing that superpower. Everyone has the desire and the innate need to be seen and be heard. So when we work on our communication skills, we change our relationships, and that's with partners, with customers, in our family, and our friendships all around the world. So going a little bit deeper off of that, um, mindfulness and presence are not a wellness trend. So it is a genuine cognitive tool. And their research showed that the most creative professionals had a quality of attention that set them apart. And this takes practice. So we'll get to that in a second. But in AI driven work, as AI is handling those tactical tasks, the more routine themes, they can create presentations for us, status reports, organize our taxes based on uploading our statements for us. They can co-work in our spreadsheets and our PowerPoint presentations, or Google. We can ask it to look at my inbox and organize everything that might be unread or seems important, and giving me the top 5 every Monday and schedule that notification. I mean, we can really, really do things to have AI work for us. But what that means is that frees us up for things that matter most, that we want to bring our full selves to: those client conversations, team decisions, the growth of our business, the initiatives that maybe have seemed to routinely pile up. Like, where can we really make a difference in our organization or in our business or in our lives? So that daily practice, even 5 minutes a day of being quiet and breathing without any distractions and quieting the mind, that is going to compound over time. And you will find that you notice things more. You'll be walking down the street and you'll notice a little leaf on a tree waving in the wind. You're just going to notice blue cars all of a sudden. I mean, your mind will just start to pick up things it cannot pick up when it is full of distractions, from our phone, from the news, from the busyness, from social media, from all of the things that we distract ourselves with. So 5 minutes a day to be free of distraction, to breathe, and to let our thoughts settle is going to significantly improve your life. So definitely want you to take advantage of that. And that would be one of your action items, is to practice that. Okay, step number 3, intuition as intelligence. So your gut is not guessing, it is your experience speaking. So this is true physiologically, but also metaphorically about following our gut. We have a lot of lived experience. You have a ton of career capital, all of your different roles you've had, all of the different experiences you've had, all of your education, all of the things that you've been exposed to, all of your hobbies and interests, and the things you've learned through other people, all of that is available all the time. And what research found, Dr. Michael Ray and Myers, they validated what great leaders know, that the best decisions integrate both analytical thinking. So the thinking, of course, in our prefrontal cortex, that part of our brain, but also experiential wisdom. Neither alone is enough. We don't want to rely on only our intuition and feelings and that gut. And we don't want to rely only on the analysis of our minds or coming through our minds. We want to do both. So, in a data saturated world, our ability to notice what the data doesn't show becomes increasingly rare and valuable when AI can surface virtually any statistic on demand. So, we can ask for statistics, we can ask AI to run reports for us, to give it data, raw data, and have it make conclusions for us. AI is not perfect. So one of the first things we need to be using is our brains to find out where the errors are, where AI made assumptions without telling us it was making assumptions, or it was making example statistics without telling us it was providing example statistics when it comes to data. So we want to be always searching for that small percent of incorrect information that AI provides, but also our mindfulness and the things we begin to notice through that, and using our intelligence as well as our lived experience, we're going to be able to. I'm thinking about the Beautiful Mind movie where, like, all of those different figures floating around in the air, like, we literally are going to become aware of the valuable things about us that we notice. So spectacular. Last but not least, developing the trust. So this isn't about ignoring evidence. It's about developing the confidence to lead from your full intelligence and not just the part a spreadsheet can capture. And I appeal to you here, when you are having AI write your emails, write your status reports, write your executive briefings, do look for those errors and the context that you think it may have, that it may have missed or misconstrued, because the last thing you want to do is be presenting information that you have not reviewed. And then when it is called out or questioned, we don't want to say, oh, but it's AI's fault. Like, let's not play the blame game with AI. So you want to develop trust in yourself, but also that trust from many different directions, from your diligence, from your intuition, and then from your own analysis. So beautiful, so powerful. Step number 4, breakthrough thinking. See what others miss and question what everyone else has accepted as fact. Oh, gosh, this is so important. There is this one story. It's not really a parable, but it reminds me of a parable called The Road to Abilene. So imagine a family sitting out on the porch, and going to the town of Abilene is mentioned. And then everyone's like, looking like uncomfortable. Oh, but I thought you wanted to go. No, I thought you wanted to go. No one wants to say no. And so then everyone gets ready and they get in the car and they're on this hot drive and they're all thinking to themselves, why are we going this way? So look that up. It is so fun to watch. So recently I was consulting with a company, and the CEO had a wonderful idea and everyone was not on board with it, but they were all kind of following along. And when the CEO wasn't in the room, everyone's wondering why we're doing this and why we're going this direction. And is this just a distraction or the pendulum swinging? Is the CEO going to have a different idea the next day and the pendulum will go another day? And so, my suggestion was perhaps we should take a pause, schedule a meeting with the CEO, and share ideas on and questions. So maybe she had great reasons why and great underlying things and insight, or read an article, or had maybe was at a round table or something and just really felt strongly and hadn't communicated a new direction. She's visionary, so visionaries are visionary. So perhaps there was just something missing there, but that breakthrough thinking and that willingness to pause and question what everyone else is kind of accepting is really important. So the beginner's mind. So they called this, Ray and Myers called this willingness to be a beginner, even when you're the expert in the room, sitting with the question long enough to find a genuinely better answer. And this truly takes humility when we are seen as the expert in the room or the consultant or the leader or the boss or the, most tenured. It does take time for us to be the beginner. It's so good for everyone though when we do that because it gives permission for everyone else to also have a beginner's mind. Helps us put away pride, helps others to put away pride and ego and really be thinking about the business at hand and the best outcome. Next, the sacred cow question. So once a week, identify one assumption your team has never questioned. Bring it into the open, gently, curiously, with interest in the answer. And that is where breakthroughs live. So you also might try with your team, if you have a team, maybe making a list of some of the things you do all the time and wondering, why are we doing these things? Are these still the right things to do? Who is doing these things? Is there a better way to do them, a better process to do them? I'm going through this with one of my clients. We decided to go through every single process in the organization because there are new team members. So as new people are being trained, is it a good idea to train them on the processes that are in place that have been in place for many years that have not been looked at or reviewed? And are the people who are still doing those tasks the right people to do them? And is there any way with new tools or new tech that has come along, ways to offload human tasks or manumation to to AI or to another system or an API? So that's been really incredible to question the sacred cow and to look at here's how we've always done it and what the longest, person there who created the process and might be attached to it to gently and genuinely have interest in giving everyone, time back to do more things and grow faster. So, applied to AI adoption, the professionals shaping how AI gets used in their organizations are the ones who asked early, questioned, and weren't satisfied. This is how we've always done it. Step number 5, personal vision and purpose. Okay, so this is all about you. Lead from clarity about who you are and what you are here to do. So, a few of the books I recommend. I am a follower of Arthur Brooks. He is an amazing thought leader on happiness and the psychology of happiness. He's a Harvard professor. I just really like his intention and what he is trying to messages he's trying to get out in the world. A book on from strength to strength for those of us who are over 50, like the things that we lose in our memory and our synopsis firing really quickly, we gain in perspective and systems thinking and synthesizing information. So that's a wonderful book. Another one, my favorite one from him is Build the Life You Want. So all of the things that are truly, truly important, maybe on a different scale between us, but it's really about that North Star. What are our pillars? Is community important? Is family important? Is connection important? Is faith important? Is giving back important? So, very similar here is this idea of a North Star. What is our personal North Star? So, the most creative professionals are deeply anchored in their personal vision and what they are here to do. They know that they have value. They know what they value. That helps us live authentically when we know what we value and we can discern from all of the different marketing messages and distractions and different paths and books and podcasts and ideas and apps and hobbies coming our way. We can align things to what we know to be true to us. And then that clarity guides all of our decisions, especially the ones that are not obvious. It's like we have our own personal lean business canvas, this North Star, this compass to guide us. So it's really important to develop that. And that is something that you can do through with a therapist, with a mentor, with a coach, on your own, so many different books. But this is just a beautiful journey to do for ourselves. Next, in the age of AI. So, when tools can replicate so much of what we do, oh my gosh, how many apps do we have to manage our calendar, manage our focus, manage our habits? There's so many different things to help us with productivity. So, we have all these tools that can replicate so much of what we do. clarity about why we do things becomes the defining question in a meaningful career. So having a purpose and having an idea of why we're here and who we're here to serve, and who we're here to love on, it is not soft, it is strategic. So your reflection question, what contribution can only you make that no algorithm can replicate? And the answer to that is the most important thing you can discover right now. So, a couple of ways to get to know about that part about only you can make. Some of us think we're just like another bozo on the bus. We're, one in a dozen. We're one in the several billion on the planet. But we are all unique. That is why our DNA is unique. Our skills are unique, our talents, our interests, our strengths. And so there are many assessments. I love Strength Finders, which helps identify some of those strengths. I love um, also guiding my clients through this process using several different ones. What is their archetype? What is their kind of where their power comes from that they don't even realize why people are attracted to them like magnets. So we create like this podium of dignity because when we see ourselves the way our creator made us, each of us so unique and special with divine gifts. It's incredible. So I encourage you to just be thinking about that. Okay, so reimagining your work with AI. AI does this and what you bring. So AI generates from existing data. It is a gigantic search engine, of course, gathering data from everything that's available out there that it can reach. Um, AI optimizes the known approach. AI executes at speed and also produces average of all answers. So our prompting is really important. So is the level of service we have in our settings with our AI. So here is what you bring. You can imagine what doesn't exist yet. AI does not have an imagination. We have imaginations. You can question whether the approach is right. You have the background, you know the climate, you know the politics, you know the people. You have that context that AI does not have. You bring deciding what matters most. So you bring the prioritization, and you bring your singular perspective and your experience with all that you are in your special, wonderful, unique, divine, immortal being self. So for the question of will AI take my job? The question is not, will AI take my job? The question is, what am I going to do with all this time and energy with my amazing self when AI frees me up? So, your action plan, your creative practice starting this week, in a couple of days, do like a little problem audit. So, choose one challenge you're working on at work or personally. Ask that why 5 times. I want to make a change. I'm challenging this process. I'm challenging my team. I'm challenging my business growth, whatever it is. And then write down why. Why is that? What is having that going to do for you? And just keep asking the question at least 5 layers deep and notice if you have new insights in the problem itself and if it shifts what that challenge is. Next, days 3 through 4, um, 5 minutes of stillness. Oh, please set some time on your calendar in a time that you maybe a great way to habit stack is to stack something new on something you do every day. So if you brush your teeth at the same time every day, maybe add your moments of stillness before or after that. So something you do every single day without fail. This is a great time to attach this new one. So before your most important meeting of the week, take 5 moments of quiet, or maybe 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in, sometime in the day, but just take that 5 minutes of stillness. And please repeat that for a couple of days and notice the changes in you. Days 5 through 7, I love a good quest, also questions. So the vision question, write a paragraph about your work at its most meaningful. So whose lives are changed? What families are changed? How does the bottom line or stakeholders, how are they all impacted by what you're doing, who you're helping, or how you are uniquely contributing? And ongoing is the assumption challenge. So once a week, identify one assumption your team has never questioned. That could be a process, that could be a goal, that could be a piece of software that you're using or something you're doing manually, something that you have in your team meeting routine, but bring it out to the open gently, curiously, and with interest. So we don't want to step on the toes of somebody who created these things and are feeling very tied to them, because that can cause a little bit of friction. So we want to do this openly, gently, with genuine interest, and share the why, share the why behind this if you're doing something like this with a team or other people. Okay, so we'll close here. We're in the home stretch. The creative is not a special kind of person. We are all creative. So every person is a special kind of creative. So that's Matthew Fox, adapted and taught in creativity and business, another person who is certified to teach this. So this webinar for you is really just the beginning. Creativity is not a destination. We are all creative, and creativity as a practice and the most creative chapter of your career may be the one here you are about to write. So I'm so excited for you. I would love for you to reach out to me and let me know what you thought of this, as well as what journey, what you're going to challenge, what you're going to question, and how your mindfulness goes. I have many resources for you on mindfulness and presence. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this time. It really takes courage, and we have a lot of competing um, options for our time. So I genuinely thank you for investing this time with me. So what comes next? Feel free to share this recording with somebody else who needs this conversation. And creativity grows in community. So maybe have a little watch party, or whatever struck you, share. I'd love to remind you that I teach this 8-week course. I teach for individuals for a one-on-one journey. I also teach this for organizations called the Culture Catalyst. So it's a workplace program built on these principles for teams and organizations to improve their creativity, mindfulness, trust, alignment. It's really incredible. Work with me one-on-one. So I do coaching, consulting, and speaking, and I'd love to talk to you about what's possible for you in your future or the future of your team. So you can learn more at jennyteeters.com. So thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.